Oh, yes, indeed. It is Lego Mario time. Ever since I was a kid, I have been waiting for Nintendo and Lego to come together to make something incredibly cool, and I am so honored and privileged to say that that day is today. My name is Brian Saviano, here for Beyond the Brick, here to talk about something I never thought I'd have the chance to talk about, Lego Super Mario, which it still hasn't hit just how awesome that is. And I can't thank LEGO enough for sending some of the sets along for me to take a deep dive into and tell you all about them way ahead of the August 1st release date. This is something I never could have imagined in my life, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to give you all the information you need about LEGO Super Mario in this video right here. So this is going to be a very deep dive consisting of not just what makes Mario so special himself, but also what the app has in store for you, as well as a variety of other sets that LEGO was kind enough to send through. So they did not send everything to me right now. I will have everything soon enough when August rolls around, August 1st, when all this stuff officially releases. But for now, I'll show you the assortment of sets they did send so far, what I thought of them, and whether or not I can recommend them to you. So let's start with Mario, because there is a lot going on with just this little guy right here. He's a lot more than your basic LEGO minifigure, so buckle in and get ready. It's going to be a long one. So if you haven't figured it out yet, Mario's eyes move, and that's because this is an LCD screen located within inside this figure right here. So the screen goes from his eyes to his mouth and his belly right there. The eyes can change, obviously, the direction in which they're looking, if he's blinking or having a dizzy expression. The mouth moves, obviously, and the screen displays a couple of different things. Not only when you collect coins, but also what surface you happen to be walking on, how much time is left on your counter, as well as power-ups and a variety of other things as well. And when he does react to a specific color, that is read by the color sensor at the bottom, and yes, that is a flashlight right there, so if the power goes out, you have a perfect thing to use. There's plenty of things that can work with Mario to enhance the game experience. So just so you know, when he's walking on a surface, it's read a specific way. So the grasslands appear on the screen here whenever he's walking on a green surface, and then water is blue, sand is yellow, red is lava. So you have those four environments that actually display on the screen here, and if Mario happens to be walking on lava, he'll show a little bit of hesitation before he takes a little bit of damage, and you can't collect any coins. So that does impact your score when we get to the game portion of everything. And the sound effects range everywhere from New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe to Mario 64, and original sounds in here as well. So Lego Mario time obviously hasn't been in any other game before, but there's a lot of references to older games as well. And it really brings Mario to life, seeing his eyes move and the mouth move and everything. It gives it a lot more character than your typical Lego minifigure. But yeah, obviously when you turn Lego Mario off, his eyes go completely black, which is totally terrifying, so you can't really use it as a display piece. But in terms of a play figure, this is a great figure to play with. And yeah, when you do turn off the lights, you can kind of tell. I'll turn off the lights here and in the video. You'll see that there is a little bit of the screen showing behind the plastic. Not as much behind the nose, because there's like 2 layers of plastic. The nose kind of pops out a little bit more, but you can totally see the outline of the very bright LCD screen right there. So for immersion's sake, don't play this in the middle of the night. Be in a well-lit room and you won't be able to tell the difference. So what powers up Mario here are 2 AAA batteries, which you may say, well, that is very outdated technology. Why isn't this a USB-C or micro USB? And at first, I would agree with you. You're totally in your right to question that. And at least 2 things. One, the batteries add a lot of weight to Mario, which is, I think, something not a lot of people factor in when playing with toys and whatnot. Like, instead of adding a weight inside of here, the batteries weigh it down just enough that Mario feels like a solid chunk of a toy instead of it being too flimsy. And then secondly, the batteries, I mean, they last fairly long as it is. So you can actually see within the app how much battery life he has left. And I've been playing with this pretty constantly. He's at 70% right now, and that's between me playtesting levels over and over and over again, and just having him on and being on the desk here. So the batteries last quite a long time. You do have to take a screwdriver to unlock the back of Mario, and that's because that's a legal thing, because otherwise kids would be able to pry that off, and then nobody wants to eat batteries. So as I had mentioned before, with the color sensor, Mario knows what environment he's walking on, but also what enemies and special objects he's interacting with. So whenever you see an enemy or a question block, a mushroom, or him talking to Toad or something like that, that is a specially stickered piece right there. So that is not printing, that is a sticker. So that way the flashlight portion here can accurately read whatever is on that enemy. And just so you know, everything that is important to the set, like Bowser Jr.'s mouth, Mario himself, the printing on the Koopa and Toad and everything like that, those are all printed, but I believe they went with the pre-applied stickers so that way they could get a more accurate reading with the printing. Maybe printing on actual pieces isn't as consistent as with stickers. I don't really know what the logic is behind it. That's just me guessing. And none of the important stuff is stickered. You're not meant to take these stickers off, and they're applied pretty perfectly. So it's better than you and I putting them on and struggling with them with the brick separator and everything. So it works out just fine. So don't worry about that. And so that's what makes up the most of what Mario is. There is a lot going on in here and adds to the whole play experience with Lego Super Mario. But what you have to download in order to take the full advantage of Mario right here is the app. Now, I have a pre-built version of the app, so by the time you're watching this and experiencing Mario for yourself, it's probably going to be a little bit different. So I don't know how different, but just so you know. So with this app here, you connect Mario via the Bluetooth on the very back right there. It doesn't connect as a device in your settings. You just press the button there, and then you press the connect to Bluetooth, and it's literally that simple. So now, whenever you start your course in the physical world, it'll keep track, and it needs an update right now, conveniently enough. It'll keep track of whatever your score is and tell you how you got that score when you're building your course. And at least right now, Mario needs updates here and there, but I wouldn't assume you need to update them every time you're booting up the app. But, you know, they're always working on it and improving it, so just be wary of that. And if you're an older fan of Lego and you don't want to bother with the app at all, unfortunately, a lot of the functionality with Lego Super Mario is lost if you don't download the app. So I would highly recommend you do so. You want to keep Mario updated and get access to everything the free app has to offer. One of which is the instructions. So there are no instructions when you open up any of the Lego Super Mario sets. You can kind of piece some things together by looking at the box, but you have to download the app. And so you may think that's an issue because you want physical instructions to work with, but at least for Lego Super Mario, I found that this works because everything else is involved with the app anyways. So even if you have a small screen, it works just fine because you can actually zoom in to the instructions and rotate things around. It's not just a simple image that's on the screen. It's actually an interactive 3D model that shows you exactly how to build everything. It's even simpler than typical Lego instructions are. And then it shows you in the app how you're supposed to play with everything. So it shows you how many hearts a specific enemy has, or how this will interact with the Mario app. So it gives you a little bit of a demo as well as the instructions. So not only do you get that in the app, but also a digital gallery of whatever sets that you scanned in while you're building them. So you see that I have the starter course as well as Toad's treasure hunt over here in the cat suit. And like I mentioned briefly before, when you start up Lego Super Mario, it'll go to this gray screen, and then when you're done, it'll calculate exactly what your score is, but not only that, but how you got your score. So you'll see that you got 10 coins in the item block, and then you got 5 from the mushroom, 5 from the cat suit. Whereas if you're looking on just Mario right here, he'll show you what your score is, but not how you got it. And then when you go to the top over here, it actually shows what Mario's battery life is, and I'm actually at 75%. And that's with me playtesting Mario for at least 5 hours. So if it's at 75% with 5 hours of playtime, that's like 25 hours right there. They're going to last you quite a long time. And then if you even want to, you can take a picture of your course when it's done and then post that over to Lego Life. So you can keep track of your most optimized courses over there. You can share it on that social media site if you want to. I find it handy for just taking pictures and keeping track of what you've built so far. So I don't really mind that the instructions are digital. Even on my Pixel 3a, which is a pretty small phone, the app works just fine and the instructions are pretty clear, so I've had no trouble at all. I'm assuming if you download this on the App Store onto your iPad, you're going to have no problem at all on such a big, beautiful screen. So yeah, I don't mind the instructions being digital because you do everything else in the app anyways. And now on to the physical product itself. This is the starter course. This is everything you need to get started with Lego Super Mario, and I wouldn't recommend getting any other course first. Make sure you get this because obviously you want Mario, but it tells you everything you need to know about how the game itself works. So obviously you get the Italian plumber. You also get Bowser Jr. and a Goomba included as well, so that's a good launch-off point for making your own level, and I actually got a pretty high score just working with the starter course there. No other power-ups or other packs needed. And obviously, if you're a Nintendo fan, a Mario fan, then you'll know Bowser Jr. is a pretty notable character. That's a good inclusion for the starter course. So you may be looking at the price-to-part ratio of this set and thinking, well, that's not as great of a value as some other Lego sets out there. And to me, that's not the point of Lego Super Mario. You know, this costs $60. It's everything you need for starting up the game, but that is also the cost of a first-party Nintendo Switch game. So a lot of people have been comparing it to that, and in terms of it being a physical product that you interact with and build a score and a unique world over time, I think that it's worth it to at least check out the technology that's going on with Lego Super Mario. I wouldn't go with any other set if you just want to see what everything is about, because everything you need is with this course here. So if you happen to get this by whatever means you want to and you're not gravitating with it, then the other sets are not going to provide anything that the starter course doesn't, because none of the builds that are in here are overly complex. You know, you're not going to get a revolutionary building experience. These sets are all made for play and exclusively play. So if you really love Super Mario, yeah, you're going to get them, but they're not going to be some grandiose set like you would get in a modular, or it's not a more comprehensive build than you might want it to be. But I'm going to get to that in a little while toward the end of the review. So this is a starter course, and Lego also sent over a variety of other sets. So what's actually pretty cool is within the app, you can view all of the other sets that have been released, and there's a lot that haven't been announced at the time of this recording, which they have been by now, but that's beside the point. The next one that Lego sent over is the Piranha Plant Power Slide. And this one is $30, and it's set number 71365. And so in here, you get the Piranha Plant Slide, the Goomba, and a Koopa. And this set, and a lot of the other sets involved here, are not from any specific Mario game. A lot of what's going on here is based on the new Super Mario Brothers franchise, the classic 2D Mario game. So there's a lot of originality in these sets that Lego ran with. So obviously there's nothing involving a power plant piranha slide in any of the Mario games. So this is a unique creation from Lego. And before I was in the Lego Super Mario Championship, I actually said that this was not a great way of earning coins because it didn't seem like that at first. But with this set here, the more that you're on the slide and you don't hit the other two piranha, you go into double and triple coin mode. So that can be a pretty useful thing if you're building up your course and want to get the highest score you possibly can. With a little bit of practice, you can get the hang of it. I found it was better to not focus on Mario himself, but the tiles that are on the top. That way you can gauge where he needs to go. And what's also important in here is the 30-second time boost. That is integral to you making a good course. And, you know, you get a Goomba in the starter kit, so that isn't necessarily a draw here. The Koopa is very cool. I actually built him without needing to look at the instructions, just basing it off of the box, because when I got these sets initially, they didn't have the app available, so they sat in my office for 4 days, just me ogling at them. But the Piranha plants are not comprehensive builds. It's very basic for what you're getting. So $30 for this, and the next set I'm going to talk about are kind of hard to justify, but again, I'll get to that at the end. The next one that LEGO sent over was the Boomer Bill Barrage, and this one includes 2 Boomer Bills, a Shy Guy, and the ever so integral power-up Mushroom. So obviously you want one of those when you're going through your course so you can take a hit. And the play feature with this is you putting Mario on the smooth tile side and trying to avoid the Boomer Bills. And I'm assuming this works in a similar way with the double and triple coin situation. I don't know that for sure, but that's just, basing it off of what the Piranha Plant Power Slide is. It's the same price point at $30. So that's the play function there. The Boomer Bill are cool to have. The Shy Guy is the bigger draw for me. The Mushroom, obviously very important. And to break it up, I'm going to go with the 2 smaller things that LEGO included in the box. One of them is the cat suit, which is right here. I'm going to apply this to Mario. You're actually looking at footage of it right now. But Cat Mario is obviously from Super Mario 3D World, initially on the Wii U. And, it's a cool power-up for Mario to have. You just take off his overalls like this and apply that on right there. Put the hat on top of him there. And then as soon as you turn on LEGO Super Mario, he actually reads that he has the cat suit on. So the Super Bell has been acquired, even though that's not a physical LEGO piece. And the ability with him is that you climb up walls. And there is one issue with the idea of this set right here, is that it's $10. And when you're out buying a LEGO set, typically a $10 set is like 100 pieces or something like that, maybe a little bit less with a minifigure included. But the main draw is just these 2 pieces of plastic right here, which obviously, yes, this is all plastic, but this is a lot less plastic than you're typically used to when you're spending $10 on a LEGO set. And as far as I can tell with the score at the very end, you get an extra 10 coins or 5 coins, I forget what the amount is. So it's not really that much of a discrepancy at the end of the day. And I don't know if I can recommend these for $10 each, because there's not just the cat suit, there's the Fire Flower suit, Propeller suit, and the Builder Mario suit. So for $40 to get only a couple of pieces of plastic, it's kind of hard to justify. And that's me saying this as a diehard Nintendo fan. I'm trying to keep this review as unbiased as I possibly can, so hopefully you've gotten that vibe already. So, I'm going to buy anything that has the Nintendo and LEGO logo on it, let's be honest here, but for $10 each, that's a tough sell for your typical mom and dad going to the LEGO store to buy a set for little Timmy. What's a much better value is the character pack that I didn't know was a thing until I opened the package and saw it there. So for $5 each, you get 1 random Mario enemy, and because I'm just so skilled at feeling LEGO minifigure packages, I knew that this was a Buzzy Beetle before opening it, and it functions the same way as it would a Koopa Troopa. He has his own health, and it's a cool buildable figure, and it's $5. Now, I wish it was $4. $5 seems like it's $1 difference, but when you're buying a ton of them at one time, that can obviously add up. Because obviously a Buzzy Beetle isn't the only thing you can get. You can get a Goomba, a Bullet Bill, Blooper, a whole bunch of different enemies. So if you want to get one of everything, that's like another $50 right there. That's a little pricey, and especially if you want to get multiples of them, because unlike a lot of other minifigure series, you can justify, in your own head I guess, buying multiple of all these different characters because they're all just random enemies in the Mario universe. So you can litter them all throughout your water level or your lava level, whatever you want to. That can get a little pricey, but I think the value is more there if you buy a few of those packs as opposed to the Piranha Plant Slide, because more enemies means more interactivity, and I feel like that's what you want to go for when you're dealing with one of these Mario levels. Now, the one set that was an absolute standout for me and I love, not just because Toad and Toadette are involved, no, just because of everything that's included in this package, it's the Toad's Treasure Hunt, and it's a very cool set. What's cool here is you obviously get Toad, Toadette, you get a Goomba, but it's its own level in a way. So the idea is you get each of the 3 boxes throughout the level, and that adds to your overall score. And you take the warp pipe and the end flag from the starter kit, and you put that into, this set right here, and you have your own level right there. So you don't need to get anything else. If you just got the starter course and the Toad treasure hunt, you'll be well on your way to having a really expansive level. And yes, obviously it's cool to have Toad and Toadette involved, and they are all printing, by the way. The interactive bits for them are located on 2 separate tiles that realistically you can put anywhere, but in the instructions it tells you to put them right in front, because Mario's like, hello, when he sees Toad and Toadette, which is pretty adorable. And you get a cool concept with the 2 cheap going around there. So there's a lot of interactivity here. The set is $70, which, yeah, it's pricey. All of these Mario sets are very pricey for what you're getting, but there's more stuff here than if you were to get the 2 $30 sets and something else. So in my mind, it's justified a little bit more. Maybe I'm biased because obviously I'm a big Paper Mario fan, and these Toad huts look 2.5D as if they were from Paper Mario, but I like the way that they look. They feel more Mario-esque than some of the other sets, and that would be the set I would get first after getting the starter course if I didn't have these sent to me. So that's everything that LEGO sent me so far. Rumor has it that they're going to be sending me one of everything, so that way I can review a couple more sets when they do come out. So I'll be able to tell you my thoughts on the Guarded Fortress, the Desert Pokey, Whomp's Lava Trouble, Mario's and Yoshi's House, Bowser's Cass Boss Battle, the Thwomp Drop, King Boo and the Haunted Yard, and Monty Mole and Super Mushroom. So I'll be showing pictures of those throughout my little outro here and final thoughts. But yeah, these sets look really cool, especially the King Boo and the Haunted Yard. I'm looking forward to that one especially. So overall, should you get the LEGO Super Mario sets? Now, for a lot of you out there who are more adult fans, you're maybe teen fans who are looking for a great display model that, really exemplified what LEGO Mario is, reminiscing all the classic games that you grew up with, Mario 64, maybe Mario Odyssey, Sunshine, whatever. This, unfortunately, is not the type of play set for you. This is exclusively a play set. Like I said earlier, if you wanted to display Mario, he looks like this, unless you want to turn the power on every time and keep turning it on after it, goes to sleep eventually. These are not display sets. You see a couple of them behind me here, but they're not going to stand out in the way that you're expecting a Ultimate Collector Series Peach's Castle to stand out. So if you're curious about the technology that's behind LEGO Super Mario, get the starter course. If you need to spend money through a gift card or whatever means, saving up lunch money, go ahead and do that, because I think it's at least worth checking out what goes into Mario for yourself. But this is exclusively a play line, and LEGO knows that, so it's important that I share that with you. Obviously, I want massive LEGO sets based on, like I said, Peach's Castle. If you had the Odyssey from Super Mario Odyssey, a giant Luigi's Mansion set. But you gotta keep in mind, this is just the beginning of what LEGO and Nintendo are doing together. And what's really interesting is that if you look on the bottom of LEGO Super Mario, the copyright date at the bottom says 2018. So who knows what other technology could be implemented into LEGO Super Mario, or what's more likely, a Mindstorms set that's going to be coming out in the not too distant future, because this technology is technically 2 years old, even though it's still pretty relevant and pretty cool. The technology that's in Mario can be seen in things like Mindstorms, but not necessarily in this form factor with this same implementation. So if you have any interest in LEGO Super Mario at all, go for it. If you have a young one out there that wants to put this on their Christmas list, absolutely get this. Kids are gonna go bonkers, which obviously LEGO is a kid's toy primarily. That may be disappointing for some of you to hear, but it is a kid's toy, and kids are gonna absolutely love this. It is so genuinely fun when you put a level together and you work hard to optimize your highest score possible. That's where LEGO Super Mario really shines. And that's me being as unbiased as I can as a Nintendo fan. So You know, the fact that I can hold Lego Super Mario is amazing to begin with, and the fact that Lego was so kind, oh, so kind, to send everything over like 2 months early is absolutely incredible. I got to compete in the Lego Super Mario Championship, where I got one of the highest scores out of anybody in the world so far. So I'm going to do a separate video talking about how to make the ultimate level. But, you know, I would have bought the starter course regardless, just so I could hold Lego Mario here. And it's incredible to have this. Now, I don't know anything. Nobody has entrusted me any information, otherwise I would tell you, but I firmly believe that there is a lot more to come out of the Lego and Nintendo partnership. You just got to be a little more patient. So a lot of kids who will ask for this for Christmas or a birthday or whatever are going to absolutely love it. Adults who are curious are going to be impressed by the technology here. And anybody who isn't on board with this Mario form factor will just have to wait a little while longer until hopefully Lego comes out with something truly extraordinary that everybody at any age and any level of fandom can appreciate. At least, I hope so. I hope you enjoyed this review and my thoughts on Lego Super Mario. Again, I tried to be as unbiased as I possibly could. Again, I'll buy anything with the logo on it, so bear with me here. My name's been Brian Saviano, representing Beyond the Brick, and I hope you have an amazing day. And until next time, see you later. Bye.